I could sit here, right, and say that these are comfortable for me, use words like well appointed, start stretching them around a lot and flipping them with careless abandon. Then I could maybe put my Converse on, take them on my electric scooter, take them for a ride, and then play some upbeat music in my video. Maybe even go rollerblading. I could even talk in a way where you have to buy these headphones because they are just so good. That corny approach isn't what we're going to be doing in this film, so I'm really sorry if you tuned in to see this, but it's not going to be for you. So first off then, these are noise cancelling headphones, and I'm sorry if I'm telling you how to suck eggs. But as I said in my article, what you do is you measure the sound of the outside world. So somewhere these headphones have mics, and if you look on the sides you can see them. And what they do is they invert the sound, so you get a negative of the sound. You amplify that and then you feed it back into the headphones. Basically, I guess, amplifying the inverse of the outside world to just quieten the outside world. Then you're just using its dynamic drivers, which are drivers just like speakers with a voice coil, moved by magnets, and attached to the voice coil is driver cone vibrates, makes sound waves, goes in your ear hole.
What did you get up to last night, mate? Anything exciting?
Well, I'll tell you, I had a nice quiet night in for a change.
Would noise cancelling in your car shut up a really annoying radio presenter? Well, not really, because the sound from the radio is obviously just being introduced, just like that really annoying upbeat music would be being introduced to your headphones. These Sonys are obviously Bluetooth headphones, and they use SBC, AAC, aptX and aptX HD Bluetooth, as well as Sony's LDAC. And these are basically different types of Bluetooth quality standards. AAC Bluetooth is 320 kilobits a second, which is a data rate about a quarter of a CD. So you can use LDAC on some digital audio players or Android phones. And as I say, this is Sony's technology. With LDAC, you've got data rates up to 990 kilobits a second, which is clearly going to be closer to CD's 1411. I think some people are into, bits means best, but I think at this kind of tough price, a lot of it's going to come down to digital to analog conversion in the headphones, as well as, other aspects of the design. If you're going to use LDAC, then you have to have a compatible digital audio player called a DAP or DAP, depending on how you say it, or Android phone with Android 8 Oreo or up. Sony's NW A55L looks like a good player around $175 to $200, and you could go all the way up to something like a FIO M15 around $1,000 or even beyond. Although quite possibly at that price you might be gilding the lily with these types of headphones. Maybe not. Now we could go into some sort of arcane conversation about battery life. My headphones last 10 hours or my headphones last 5 hours, like my car miles per gallon. But I mean, I'll keep it quick here, and all I'll say is that, if you're going to be using Bluetooth or noise cancelling features, then obviously you have to have the power on. I've got great life out of these headphones. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Sony report 30 hours with noise cancelling, and that does sound quite a lot. They also say that you can get 5 hours battery life out of 10 minutes charge. That sounds really optimistic, and I didn't test that. But what I will say is you don't have to have any concerns about battery because it just lasts ages. And if you do run out of battery or you want to save battery, then just use them as a normal headphone set with the 3.5mm jack. With an iPhone you can use this little adapter because they no longer have 3.5mm connection. Sony like features in their products, and as a long-term Sony user I've tended to find some things you can get on board too and others that you can discard. Using Bluetooth, the way you can start playing music by tapping the right ear cup is pretty neat. It's a really nice feature of these headphones. If you want to hear ambient noise to talk to someone, you can press the NC stroke ambient button on the side, or you just place your hand over the right cup. But I've got to say, you do look like a bit of a plum. I did it in the supermarket and the guy looks at me as if to say, have you got a problem with your ear? Switching to a look like, oh, you want me to talk louder? Naturally you can make calls and use the touchpad right cup to answer, but on voice assistant features like Alexa, I've got to be honest and say I've found it a bit of a fad, as I'm probably not likely to use that type of feature on headphones personally. I've got to say though that the voice assistant does sound a bit like a kind of female Hannibal Lecter with a slightly disembodied voice. It's slightly off-putting, I've got to be honest. Bluetooth is off. I didn't find much change in using the adaptive sound control, which uses the Sony app on your mobile to recognise where you are, if you're walking, staying still, and then it adjusts cancelling to suit the environment. I just found it a little bit inflexible. How does it know, what noise you'll come up against? I mean, sometimes when I walk past someone playing Justin Bieber on their mobile, I'm going to want it really, really high, obviously. That all said, I think you understand why Sony have these noise profiles. It's probably more for safety reasons than anything. That the ambient sound control in the app just allows you to move the slider to eliminate sound in your environment, and that's good enough. And to be honest, I think that's all you need. Another thing is its atmospheric optimizer, which I didn't get to test as I haven't been on any planes in these COVID-19 times, but basically it adjusts the quality of the noise cancelling by atmospheric height, because apparently it changes depending on how high you are. Quite how that works, I've no idea though. Most of these gadgets are probably extraneous to the overall reason you buy these Sonys. And that's clearly in the domain of noise cancelling. They invoke this kind of really odd experience you get when your sensors start messing with your head. I can't not be hearing anything in the external environment type situation. It's like the strange experience you get when you're put in an anechoic chamber. You don't quite believe that that's what's going on in your environment. Against some old Bose Quiet Comfort 15s I have, the Boses are more like elaborate earmuffs, as I said in my written review I think too. What these Sonys do though is they take outside bass noise and mid-range and flatten it to this kind of flat, expansive semblance of that bass. It's uncanny really, and I'd say noise cancelling is on another level to the Boses. This might not be a fair comparison because these Quiet Comfort 15s last sold about 6 years ago from memory, and I'd expect noise cancelling to have come on quite a lot in that time. Now sound is pretty neutral, and these Sonys aren't meant to be incisively harsh headphones with treble, Mid-range is okay if not massively elevated, and there is strong bass presence. You get an impression dynamics are good, but they're nothing to write home about. In fact, I often had to turn bass down quite a bit because it was very boomy. A lot of the time, a lot of music was like that, to get it to some sort of acceptable level. And I'd say that these headphones are definitely not muddy with bass and imprecise as some types I've tried, especially some Meze 99 Neo. So bass is okay, but it is quite dominant. The optimizer does allow you to tailor sound to decent levels from sound profiles like bright, mellow, treble boost, but again bass is taking over somewhat. I found it's better just to use the equalizer and turn clear bass right down to 0. The 360 reality audio does work so far as pinpointing sound as if it's moving within each ear cut relative to a kind of flatter sound that you get on other headphones at a similar price. And it can be optimized in the Tidal app because 360 works with certain apps, of which Tidal was one of them. I couldn't actually help thinking that if you had a bit more treble and there was a bit more preciseness, these 360 effects might be just a bit more space pinpointed. Okay, these Sonys aren't meant to be the last word in detail dynamics, and mid-range could be better. Also, treble isn't particularly on point, as some headphones like Grado's SR225Es are more searing in detail. Admittedly, they're open backed and they let noise out, and they're not noise cancelling either. But what you're buying these Sonys for is their noise cancelling prowess and just making your environment shut the hell up. You've also got to be buying them for LDAC as well, and on the whole, with people buying headphones for different uses, you know, at different prices, because people nowadays seem to have a set of headphones for every single use, you know, you can't help not but recommend these. Anyway, thanks for watching my little video clip. As ever, please help me, please get more videos by hitting the subscribe button, and you'll get updates as and when they come in. These headphones have been going a while now, and we've got the XM4s coming later in the year, so hopefully we'll be able to do some A to Bs as soon as they come in. Again, thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.